Today, have a strap, tie, belt, long towel, something. And a block might be nice. 2 blocks might be even better than nice. We're getting into our hamstrings today, so these things can be useful. Okay, let's start. Come onto the back, put your props to the side. Have your strap close by so that you'll be able to reach it from laying. Place hands on body. Today's practice, we are investigating what are the points of focus that allow me to stay as present as possible for as long as possible. And we'll start with the point of focus landing on the breath, as we usually do. Notice what the natural quality of breath is here. And then once you have observed that, you may feel inspired to lengthen, deepen, widen the breath. Experiencing the breath as a 3-dimensional act. Front body, back body, through the side, waist, the ribs. Feeling the expansion, feeling the softening. And as you do this here, assess and notice, am I present? Already has my mind begun to wander, projecting into the future, reliving the past. Bring it back to the point of focus on the breath. Slowly, staying with the point of focus on the breath, the arms reach towards the sky. The palms face one another. The shoulder blades are securely on the back. Feel the front ribs hug towards the back body. Feel the back body press to the earth. Feel your long spine as you breathe here. Begin to rotate the hands so that they face more towards the back of the mat, thumbs out to the side, pinkies next to each other. And then slowly sweeping the arms back. They may only go to about a 45-degree angle. The moment that the ribs begin to puff up off the mat, pause, hug the ribs towards the earth. Using your transverse abdominis, knitting them in. And then the arms might float a little bit further towards the earth. Probably if the upper arms are beside the cheeks or ears, probably you've lost either the external rotation in the arms, which is what we set up with the palms facing back, triceps hugging in, shoulder blades securely on the back. Or you might have lost the ribs, they might be puffing up. The knees might stay bent here. It helps to have them bent so that the low back can stay pressing to the earth. But you may explore what extending one leg at a time does. Maybe both legs are extended, active, toes pulling back, inner thighs rolling in. front ribs to back body. Frontal hip points lifting towards front ribs. And the tailbone reaching towards the heels. Here we are in all of the alignment points on our back for Tadasana, which is usually standing on our feet. Inhale. Exhale, hug the knees in. Little rocking from side to side. Keep the right knee in. The left foot can fall to the floor. Take the strap around the ball of the right foot. Draw the heel towards the sky. You can hold the strap in both hands. Shoulder blades stay on the earth. Arms are extended. Start just by breathing. Point of focus on the breath. The eyes could be closed. Notice how the leg feels, the back of the leg, the hamstrings, the calf, the Achilles. Point of focus, back of the leg. Physical sensation. Notice the changes that happen as you breathe here, encouraging the heel towards the sky, encouraging the right hip to roll forward. Letting the leg take its time to soften and open into this stretch. If it feels available, the left leg may extend. It's active. Wherever you are, you could bring a little movement to the right leg, letting it shift from side to side. You could draw circles with the femur bone in the hip socket. Make sure you go both directions. With the toes flexed, rotate them so that they are externally rotated. The toes point to the upper right corner. Take the strap into the right hand. Take the left hand onto the left hip. Keep the left hip rooted. Begin to open the right leg out to the side any amount. External rotation. Heel is higher than the toes. You could clench the outer hip for a moment and then soften there. Try and reach the inseam of the leg beyond the heel. Bring the leg back through center. Take the toes to point to the back of the mat. Take the strap in the left hand, the thumb into the right hip crease. Roll the right hip forward. Keep that right hip rooted just across the meridian of the body. That midline. Keep that right foot active, pressing through the heel. The hips stay on the earth. Bend the knee in. Hug it in. Roll the ankle. Plant the foot on the floor. Hug the left knee in. Take the strap around the ball of the left foot. And draw the heel towards the sky. Right away, notice, is there a difference that you can perceive from side to side? Allowing the point of focus to shift over to the left. Physical sensation. Noticing how you label it. Is there any judgment of good or bad attached? Can it simply be sensation? There's activity here. The heel keeps lifting. The outer left hip resists forward. The toes are reaching back. There's an opening available. The breath is three-dimensional. You decide maybe the right leg is straightened or not. If the right leg does straighten, notice if the hips have come off kilter. Make sure they're nice and equidistant from the front of the mat. Left hip rolling forward, right hip hugging in. And as it percolates, opens more, the stretch comes into the leg. There might be some movements side to side, drawing circles in both directions. Pause at center. Take the strap into the left hand, right hand onto right hip. Rotate the toes externally, toes out to the left. And begin to open the leg any amount. Noticing those areas that are creakier. You might pause in the creak and breathe there. There's engagement through the core. Come through center, lifting the leg back up towards the sky. Strap into the right hand. Left thumb into the hip crease. Roll the hip forward. And then just over that midline, cross the left foot over towards the right. Ever so slightly, you'll feel this for certain. Feel the outer edge of the leg growing longer. Focus on the breath. Bring the leg back through center, bend the knee, hug it in, roll the left ankle. You can put the strap on the side. Hug both knees in. Little rock forward and back along the spine 3 or 4 times until we come up into a seat, crossing right shin in front of left. Find yourself on your sit bones. A little shift side to side, front to back. Find what center feels like. With the shins crossed, we're trying to get the shins to cross right in the center as the feet move away from the center. How can I describe this better? We're trying to line the knees and the feet up. So the left knee with the right foot and the right knee with the left foot. They should be more or less next to each other. That makes sense, I hope. Cross at the shins. Float the arms up, inhale. If this is hard to do, you probably have very tight hips. You can use a block or a bolster under your sit bones. Fold forward from the hips over the legs. Notice if the fold is coming more from the rounding of the spine, the waist folding. Instead, try and reach the spine long. Think of length from the tailbone to crown of the head. And let the fold come into the body as if the heart were reaching forward. Maybe a shifting from side to side. And then upright. Switch the crossing of the shins. Getting into the hips here. Side to side, front to back. Find the center. Float the arms. Lift out of the waist. Think of that long spine as the sit bones root. You reach the heart forward. Hands can land wherever they fall. Keep pulling the heart forward. Think of that spine long from tailbone to crown of the head. Come up. Bring the feet in front of you. Hands behind hamstrings. Find the center of the sit bones. Lift the heart, belly to spine. Begin to pull the knees in as you come up onto your toes. Belly up and in. Keep pulling the belly towards the spine. And then maybe the toes could float. Maybe the shins come towards parallel to the earth. Keep lifting the heart. Hands can stay behind the hamstrings. They might be behind the hips, tented on fingers. This is a lot of strength required from the hip flexors and from the core. Maybe you play. Woo! I'm playing today. Hands reaching forward. Navasana. Modified with the knees bent. Extend out, lower down. Halfway lift, back up, Navasana. Use this core time to be the point of focus. Keep the awareness right at your center of self. The belly pulling to spine. The outer ribs hugging in. Keep lowering and lifting. Use your breath. Once more. And lift. Feet to the earth. Hands come down. Cross the shins. Roll over the legs. Come onto tabletop. Hands and knees. Swing the hips from side to side. Heart lifts. Cow pose. Round the spine, cat. Heart lifts, cow. Press the hips back like you're going towards child's pose, but keep this heart lift. And then round the spine towards child's pose. Lift the hips. Come into cat pose. Inhale, heart forward. Sink back. Round the spine. Come up, child's. Make it like a wave. Inhale, heart lifts, tailbone lifts, hips sink back. Round the spine. As you exhale, dome through the back, cat pose. Pick up the pace a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Smooth out the edges. A few more rounds on your own. After this next round, pause in tabletop. Step the right foot back, press through the heel, belly up and in. Float the leg to the height of the hip. Keep rolling the right hip down. Maybe the left hand can reach forward, or you might just tent onto fingertips. On the exhale, knee to nose. Keep reaching the left hand forward. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose, round in. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose, round in. Inhale, extend back, pause. Lower the left hand. Lower the right foot. Right knee comes to the earth. Heart lifts. Round the spine, cow, cat pose. Tabletop. Step the left foot back, press through the heel. Give a little pulse, stretch the calf. Press into the right shin, begin to float the left leg. Maybe the right fingertips come up or hand forward. Belly up and in. Think of the front ribs and frontal hip points moving towards one another. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, bring it Inhale, extend. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, extend, hold. Lower right hand, lower left toes, left knee to the earth. Tuck the toes, lift the knees off the earth. Send the hips back. Straighten into the legs, come into this shortened down dog. And I said straighten into the legs, but keep a soft bend, actually, in the knees. The heels are moving towards the earth, yes. And the sit bones are pulling up towards the sky. They're shining away from one another. The inner thighs are spiraling back. Peek back at your toes. Can you lift the toes, spread them wide, lower them down? Notice if the knees are knocking in, avoid that. Knees line right up with the ankles. Outer hips keep hugging. Walk the hands back about a foot. Press the hips up and back. You'll feel this in the backs of the legs. And that's where we're focusing right now. Point of focus. Feeling the attention to the legs, the lift of the quadriceps, the sit bones shining towards the sky. Walk back 6 inches. Keep pressing the hands to the earth. Nice connection there. Maybe hands on blocks. Head is heavy. And then however many more, walking back until your hands are towards your feet. The knees can be very generously bent here. Even if the knees are as bent as nearly 90 degrees, you can still feel the attention of trying to lift the sit bones towards the sky. Whether or not they're pointing towards the sky is not really the point. We're looking for the sensation. The sensation of the lift of your underbutt towards the sky. Of your sit bones pulling away from one another. Widening there. As the inner thighs spiral back, the outer hips secure in towards one another. You can wave the head from side to side. You could hold the elbows. You could hold the calves. Whatever feels right here. Breathing here. Find that point of focus. The eyes could be closed if you feel well balanced. And you might land on the breath. The sound of your own breath. Bend the knees, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Pressing into the feet, keeping the legs active, active, active. As you roll up, the head lands on top of the spine. You could peek down at the feet, make sure they're hips distance right under your hip bones. Parallel. Toes pointing forward. Softness to the knees, outer hips hugging, palms face forward, collarbone is wide. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, dive, leading with the heart over the legs. Inhale, lift, halfway up. Exhale, walk the hands out to downward facing dog. Float forward to plank, check the length of your dog. Shoulders land over the wrists. Heels press back further than the toes. Inner thighs roll up towards the sky, plank pose. Hips up and back, down dog. Lift the right leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Shoulders over wrists here. Look forward. Try and hug the heel a little closer to the butt. Flex the foot. Can you lightly step the foot through? If you have 2 blocks, they're great on their highest height here. Lift the heart. Exhale, pull the hips back. Straighten any amount into that front leg. Inhale, bend into the front knee, lift the heart. Exhale, pull the hips. You can be high on the back toes, fold over the front leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Bend the front knee, drop the back knee. You can walk the blocks back with you as you pull the hips back. Hands can land under the shoulders. The toes of the right foot flex back towards you. Think of the hips cutting back evenly. Getting length through the side waist on the right. Think of the heart reaching forward, long spine. Maybe you can fold in, let the elbows flare out. Rebend the front knee. The foot plants. Press into the heel, float the arms up. Let's stretch the front of the left hip flexor, so as. Press into the right heel. Hug the right hip in. Imagine you could scrub the left knee forward towards the right heel as the right heel pulls back. Like this kind of action. Frontal hip points are lifting from the low belly engagement, and then the arms can float external rotation. Think of more space through the side waist. The gaze might come up. Maybe the pinkies touch. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Come up onto the back toes, straighten the back leg. Strong back leg so the heel lines up over the toes. Make sure that your feet are hips distance here. You might need to walk the right foot out slightly. Hug that right hip in. There's a tendency for it to swing out. Hug it in so the hip is in line with the knee. Belly pulls up and in. You can float the arms back here. Long spine. Strong back leg anchoring you. And then press into the front foot. Arrive into crescent warrior. One breath here. On the exhale, hands come through center, hands to hips. Straighten into the front leg. With that back heel lifted so high, just swivel it towards the earth. You might step it in an inch or two. Not much. We're moving into warrior one. If it feels like your feet are on this little tightrope, widen them out. If it feels impossible for your hips to be pointing forward, your feet probably need to be wider. Press into the ball of the front foot. Cut the right hip back. The left hip rolls forward. Press into the left foot. Feel the inner arch lift. Feel the inner thigh roll back. The inner thigh of the left leg is rolling towards the back of the mat. Hands are on hips, and we slowly bring that front knee towards 90 without collapsing the torso forward. So we peel the frontal hip points up, send the tailbone down, zip belly to spine, press firmly into the back leg. Warrior one. Keep hugging the outer hips together. Keep activating that back leg. Let that be your point of focus here. Back leg, back leg, back leg. Inner thigh, left leg, spirals back. And now choose a place for the eyes to land and let that be your point of focus. Get so interested in what you choose to stare at. The eyes do not move from that very specific spot. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Come onto the back toes, step back, plank. If you choose it, you can lower through chaturanga all the way to your belly, into cobra. Otherwise, straighten to downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Left leg lifts up and back. Exhale, bend the knee in towards the nose. The shoulders line up over the wrists. Look forward. Kick the heel towards the tush a bit more. Flex the foot. Can you step it through gently? All right, you might have blocks here. Find them very useful. Lift the heart. On the exhale, pull the hips back. Stay high on the back toes. Fold over the front leg as it straightens. Inhale, heart lifts, knee bends. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, bending the front knee, lifting the heart. Exhale, fold in over the leg. Bend the front knee, lower the back knee down. Uncurl the toes of the back foot, walk the hands back on blocks or not. Toes flex, left toes flex back, heel, feel the heel dragging back into space. It stays planted where it is, but it's this sensation of the heel pulling back, femur bone into hip socket. And then maybe you could fold in, let the elbows flare out. Breathe into the back of the hamstrings. Where's the mind? How present can it be right here? Rebend the front knee. Feel the sole of the foot make contact to the earth. Tuck the back toes, straighten the back leg. The back heel lines up over the toes, the ball of the foot. The belly pulls up and in, the left hip hugs in. Take a peek back, make sure that you have hips distance with the feet at least, maybe a bit wider for stability. Keep pressing into the front heel, maybe the arms begin to float back or come to hips. Keep that back leg strong, inner thigh spirals back. Slight bend to the back knee, float the arms up. Crescent warrior, outer hips hug. Right, breathe in. On the exhale, hands to heart, come to hips, straighten the front leg. Swivel the back heel down, sharp angle with the back foot, the toes are really pointing forward. Hug the right hip forward, pull the left hip back, like headlights on a car, even from the earth and from the front of the mat. Belly to spine, tailbone to earth. Strong back leg lifting the inner arch, spiraling the right thigh back. You begin to bend into the left knee. The arms can float. Breathing. Choose your gaze. Stay with it. Maybe try and find the exact spot that you held last time. One more breath in. Exhale, hands to the earth. Come onto the back toes, step back, choose a vinyasa or skip it entirely. We all end up in dog. Breathing here, maybe child's pose, up to you. Slowly, little by little, we're going to kick one heel towards the tush. Be high, high, high on the toes. When you lower the leg down, it steps maybe 3 or 4 inches forward. Take the weight into the foot that's closer, kick the opposite foot heel to tush, and then step it forward in front of that foot 3 or 4 inches. So you're kicking and walking like you're in really, really high heels. Keep pressing into the hands. The knees might be really bent here. And then once you've gotten as far as you can get, it's going to be different for everybody. Lower the heels to the earth. Knees are bent, head hangs. You can give a little bobbing. Hands can be on blocks here. Blocks are a really great option here. Hands on the earth. Press into the left foot. Swing the right leg up. Standing splits. Whoo! Roll the right hip down towards the earth. The leg will not go nearly as high as if you externally rotated, but that's not what we're looking for. Keep a soft bend in the left knee. And then lower the right foot. Switch sides. Take the weight into the right foot. Begin to lift the left leg up and back. Outer hip rolling down. You can peek back at your left toes. They're all pointing towards the earth. Think of the sit bones of the right on the right side. Lifting, lifting, lifting. And then lower the foot to the earth. Top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Whew. Pause. Tadasana. Eyes closed. Connect to the breath. Notice the sounds you hear close by. Notice the sounds that are farther away, maybe outside of your room, outside of your home. See if you can locate the sound that is the farthest from you. Gently blink the eyes open, soft gaze, float the arms up, look up, fold forward. Heart lifts, inhale. Plant the hands, step back, exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift for a back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Have the blocks to the top of the mat. Right leg lifts. Step the foot through to the hands. Swivel the back heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten with the front leg, hands to hips. The block, if you have more than one block, they can frame the front foot. If you only have one, have it to the inside of the right foot. Hop the back foot in, maybe 3 or 4 inches. Shorten your stance. We're moving towards pyramid pose. Feet are not on a tightrope. Heel to heel, maybe, probably wider. Mine are wider. Outer hips hug in. Inner thighs spiral back. You can have your right hand on your right hip. Keep a soft bend in your front knee by pressing the ball of the foot to the earth. Float the left arm up. Begin by cutting the hips back, reaching the heart forward. Have a long spine. Go halfway down. Keep the spine long, 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 long. You can have hand on the small of the back. And then your left hand can find the block. You could be up on fingertips. You could build 2 blocks. This is about hamstring flexibility, so you might be up here. That's okay. Wherever you are, think of rolling the left hip forward and pulling the right hip back so they're even from the earth. Think of pressing into the right big toe mound, keeping a soft bend in the back of the knee on the right side. Feeling the left inner thigh spiral back. And you might find a little more space as we allow this to percolate and open. You might fold in little by little. 3 more breaths here. And after the 3rd breath, slight bend in the front knee, fold over all the way. Step their left foot back. Step their right foot back, plank pose. Choose a vinyasa or straight into downward facing dog where we will all meet. Left leg lifts up and back. Step the foot through to the hands. Swivel the back heel down. Set your block wherever you need it. Warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, hands to hips. Straighten into the front leg. Hop the back foot in 3 or 4 inches. Right hip rolls forward, left hip rolls back. Frontal hip points lift up, belly up and in. Left hand stays on left hip, reminding it to cut back. Keep a slight bend in the front knee. Feeling calf move towards shin. Right arm can float up. Keep that back leg, the right leg anchored, pressing to the earth as you fold in. Think of the spine long, like we have this whole practice. Keep hugging the left hip in. There is a tendency for it to swing out. Maybe you've built up a little tower of blocks. Go ahead and take your right hand down. You could have your hand on your low back to notice, oh, is my left hip rolling too far or right hip rolling too far to the earth, or is it lifted too high to the sky? How do I get it nice and even? I have a mirror in front of me, so it's really easy for me to use my visuals to check. But let's challenge ourselves and try and tune into the focus of the sensation of the body. What are the messages you get from your physical body? We're breathing here. Can you feel the stretch and the strengthening here? The outer hips are hugging, the belly is pulling. Yes, the legs are stretching certainly. One more breath in. As you exhale, bend into the left knee deeply, hands come to the earth, hop the right foot back a bit further. Plant the hands, step back, plank, final vinyasa if you'd like it. Down dog. Knees to the earth, big toes touch, child's pose. Sink the hips back. Forehead to the earth or a block. Slowly come up to a seat. Swing the legs forward. Soles of the feet come together. So the feet may be further away, making more of a square. Or you might pull the ankles in, making more of a diamond. A little shift side to side. You could hold the ankles. Think of lifting the heart here. Paying attention to that long spine as you tip the heart forward. And then when you've reached the limit of the lean forward, you might allow the spine to round. The upper back rounds, the chin rounds to chest. Inviting the hips, the inner groins to open. Imagine pulling the breath down into the depths of the belly. If the eyes are closed, take the point of focus inward to the breath. You can begin to roll up. Lifting the torso, keep the left knee bent, extend the right leg long. You have a strap available to you. Sole of the left foot to inner right thigh. If the hamstrings are tight, if the hips are tight, the strap may be a really great option. So we'll start by lifting the chest and then twisting as if we could get the belly button to point more towards the knee on the right leg. You can lift your hands up with the strap in between them and then fold forward. The strap can loop around the foot. Think of the spine staying long, sending the sit bones back. Switch legs, left leg forward, right knee bends, sole of foot to the inner thigh. Flex the left toes, take the strap between the hands, lift the heart, twist the chest, and begin to fold over that left leg, looping the strap on the foot. Keep sending the heart forward. Feel the places where the body is touching the earth. Let that be your point of focus here. And slowly lift out of this side. Both legs forward. Scoot the flesh out from underneath the sit bones. Flex the feet back. Got your strap over your head. Wiggle out of the waist. And then begin to fold over these legs. Hook. Loop the strap around the feet. Try and press the big toes away. Peel the pinky toes back. See how that feels. And slowly lift up. Scoot the strap aside. Scoot the hips towards the heels and come onto your backs. Hug the knees in. Little rock side to side. Right foot on the floor. Left ankle over right knee. Flex the left foot. Bringing the right knee closer to the body, come into reclined pigeon. You have the strap. If reclined pigeon is really tough for you, you could take the strap around the ball of the foot on the right side. And this might be kind of where you are. You might be able to pull it in a little bit closer. Or you can interlace the hands over the shin. Keep the left foot flexed. Release this side. Left foot on the floor, right ankle over left knee. Set up your strap if you're using it. Walk the left foot in. Keep the right foot flexed. Come into reclined pigeon on this side. Release. Hug both knees in. Coming into a twist. Now both knees can stay together, or you might decide to extend the right leg long. Take the left knee over to the right. Or both knees may stay lined up with one another. You've got a block. You might like a block underneath that left knee or in between the two knees. You can gaze towards the left side if that feels okay on the neck. Breathe deep into the belly. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Let the twist come into the body. Come back through center. Switching sides. Maybe both knees up and over to the left or just the right knee in. Scoot the hips over to the right. Let the point of focus land on the belly. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. Come through center. Hug the knees in. Last few moments here, take any shape you like. Maybe happy baby is the only one you want. Maybe plow pose or something entirely different. Hug the knees in. Give a little squeeze. Maybe curl the head in for a moment and then extend the legs out. Set yourself up for Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. And a full sigh out. Invite the body to land. Invite the control of the breath to surrender. And choose your point of focus here. You might choose the breath. You might choose a mantra. You might choose a specific location of the body. Maybe the sensation of the body on the earth. But choose it. Land there. If your point of focus has seemed to have disappeared, just come back to it. it's wandered again, bring it back again. As you deepen the breath, let the point of focus remain exactly where you've set it through Shavasana. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, maintain your point of focus. Maintain your present moment awareness. Reach the arms overhead. Hug the knees into the body. And decide whether rolling to one side or rocking forward and back to find yourself into a seat is appropriate for you today. Bring the hands together at the heart center, palm to palm. Let the point of focus be where the thumbs make contact with the sternum. Heart lifts, head bows. Breathing into that center. Take this practice of directing attention with you today and see how present you can get with your daily activities. Shanti, peace.